Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
This is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And you're listening to The Drop. Once again, because you probably already listened to it one time, because nobody just stumbles on this and has
I don't
it be
know.
their
If you
first
put the title
podcast.
Chicago Recap,
People
are
stumble
gonna,
on it.
Oh, they do?
They're stunned.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about this. You're about to experience something that you were not expecting if it is your first time, because this is probably the most running podcast you will hear.
I made a huge mistake right before this podcast. You know what I did because you were
ate
up there.
Ekiben.
Horrible idea.
Well, no, you can't just say that because people don't know Ekiben. Ekiben is the best thing ever.
It's the best thing ever.
But I'm going to guess it stirred up some emotions in your stomach.
Well, no, it just makes you burp a lot. So I'm going to be holding that back the whole time.
Well, maybe we could get a burp button. Cause you know how they have like a delay?
You can program that in there.
You do like burp.
That's the issue is with the greatest things, there's always a downside. Mm-hmm. You want to take Ozempic. Is
that the greatest thing you can think of?
Thin. Well, people think it's like the greatest medication to,
What's it going to do to you if you take that? What are the side effects?
You probably die like 20 years early.
Okay.
Yeah, but you'll look great.
Yeah.
That's the question I was just going to ask you. Would you rather have a shorter lifespan but look good?
Yeah, for sure.
I think people don't care.
Oh, geez.
But I think you do lose bone density from that, maybe. Or I think the whole thing we talked about this was
I forget all.
It was
stuff,
like
it's definitely gonna
your
kill
muscles
you.
get like it basically is taking from your muscles,
right?
Not
So
good stuff.
people just go out and run.
Yeah, just do
the hard work.
You got to do the hard work. Eat the Ekiben. Go on a run, which I did yesterday. Was another again horrible idea.
Hey,
don't recommend it.
I noticed you're wearing this thick shirt.
Yeah.
Where's that from?
I'm basic,
2 Cs?
baby. It's from the Rourke. You have the same one.
No, mine's solid blue.
Yeah.
And I used it this weekend in Chicago. That's why I was asking if what brand it was, because I used the Rourke one this weekend in Chicago.
Yeah, same.
Loved it. You were in Chicago?
No, but the same brand.
Oh, okay.
I was there mentally.
Like, it was pretty cold. Like, sometimes I was wearing a puffer jacket for when I was chasing Meg around. But for, like, just going out, I had that Tracksmith hoodie sweatshirt that we have, the Believe in the Run one, and put the Rourke solid navy colored one that I have over it.
There you go.
Dude, not only did it feel fantastic.
The ladies were catcalling you?
Yeah. I look jacked.
This one?
I look like it adds that extra thickness.
Oh, yeah.
I looked really big.
That's always a good move.
I was not afraid of anyone in that city. I had broad shoulders. Meg, you felt
I
safe.
think it depends what part of you on the marathon course.
On the nice
Totally
areas.
felt
On the nice
in control.
areas. I felt really good.
I like bashing on other cities as if Baltimore's a
I got to tell you, I really
shining.
like Chicago.
yeah.
I do.
Chicago's nice.
In the areas that we were in, and we were probably in the posh parts, like we were downtown for where our hotel was.
Yeah.
But when we did the shakeout run with Kefui, and we can get into all this stuff, but that little neighborhood, there was like a neighborhood that was like almost like looked like Newberry Street in Boston.
Yeah.
But cleaner and nicer. If you can imagine that, with like landscaping in front of the houses and stuff. And then there was like in that area, there was like the fancy stores like Hermès and Gucci and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it was pretty nice.
Places I never stepped inside of.
Yeah. Running along the water, man, it's hard to believe that's just a lake. And I'm like, can you drink that water?
I mean, do you know that it's a lake though? Have you ever crossed the other side?
That's true. I don't know anything.
Do you know that it's not just a flat forever? You're basically taking a map's word for it.
Or just hearsay. Because I've never even checked a map for it. I've just people say it's a lake.
There's a lot of hearsay out there.
A lot of people are like, it's the greatest lake.
Do people say Michigan's the greatest lake?
I mean, it is a great lake.
Wouldn't by name Superior would be a greater lake?
You would think Superior would be greater than that, but maybe that's why Michigan's like, we're the Great Lakes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a pretty good lake if I have to think about it. I don't know which one.
The fact that we have a Navy on it is pretty impressive.
Yeah, you mean the Coast Guard?
No, I think the Navy is in there because it has the Navy. You can go to the Navy Pier.
Okay.
And I think all the naval cadets go there.
Yeah. So that's we're gonna talk all about that. We're not talking about the Chicago Marathon at all today.
Just lakes.
People were like, just fast forwarding. Yeah. They're doing the 15-second thing, and they can't do it fast enough. You can't.
Yeah.
But you know what? We may have peaked.
Yeah.
Good segue.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. Robbie, Who's our sponsor this week?
This week it's Kodiak, which when did they change from Kodiak to Kodiak? They used to be Kodiak cakes, right?
I think when they got a broader,
They started making oatmeal.
diverse product.
But anyways, yeah, Kodiak. I had this stuff this morning, by the way.
Do you know what's good about it?
What?
It's the extra protein.
Yeah, I ate it at maybe 9 o'clock this morning, and I wasn't hungry until I ate that Ekiben 10 minutes ago. That's a span of like 5 hours almost.
Is that more than normal, like as far as feeding times for Robbie?
I think so. The 5 hours is a pretty good amount of time to not be hungry, right?
Yeah, that's solid.
So that's hearty. You would say this oatmeal is hearty?
Yeah, I mean, Hardy Boys. I think that you could call me that.
But the reason runners should like it, or people that work out or are active, is that 20 grams of protein that's in each serving.
Yeah.
Megan, why is that important to athletes?
It's really good for recovery. So basically, you get delicious oatmeal, which already has your carbs built into it, but then they added the protein so that you don't have to add anything extra. You can literally just cook this up with water or milk, whatever you prefer.
Oh,
and
that's what I wanted to ask you.
perfect.
Do you use water or milk?
I go water.
I water, but I add milk. So
What's that?
once the oatmeal's done,
Yeah.
I make it like a little mountain, and then I put a little milk moat
Oh, like
around
a
it.
volcano type
Yeah.
situation?
Yeah.
Wait, do you put the milk moat outside of it, or you put inside and outside?
If it wasn't, these are already sweet enough. If it
It's not a
wasn't,
moat if it's inside.
if it was,
Well, I thought it was a volcano with a moat,
No,
like
well-
a double dipping.
well, seriously, what we used to do is we'd make a mountain, we'd surround it with milk, and then because it was unsweetened oatmeal that didn't have protein, we would stick brown sugar in the top,
Yeah,
and so you'd have a brown sugar mountain with a milk moat.
yeah.
But now with this, these are sweetened, so they have 3 flavors. You got banana nut, berries and cream,
But 40% less sugar than the standard Kodiak
Yep.
Yeah.
oatmeal.
and then berries and cream, and the last flavor.
Banana nut.
No, I already said banana nut.
Maples.
Maple brown sugar.
Maple brown sugar.
You don't even need to put that little brown sugar volcano in there.
And you don't. But like Robbie said, it keeps you full.
Yeah, so if you guys want to get in on this, we do have a discount. So if you go to kodiakcakes.com/BIR, you can get 20% off their peak oatmeal bundle. And that comes with the 3 flavors that Thomas just talked about.
Yeah, and you would think BIR stands for Believe in Run, but it actually is Birds is Real,
Yeah, it's
because
the
we've
beginning.
changed our tune.
It was too long to put it into the system. Their link convention is like an old arcade game. You can only put in 3 letters.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And now
BIR
we're at the
it
top of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
BIR.
Dude, I was always jealous of people who had 3-letter names, because I mean, mine is Rob, so you could put in Rob, but also just, I don't know, Alf maybe. I was always jealous of him.
Nah, man, it was always
I got Meg.
ass,
That's a good one.
tit.
Tom.
Yeah.
You're just saying all the bad 3-letter
Yeah,
words.
that's the ones that we did.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Work our way all the way up there.
But
Is somebody's
imagine if,
alarm going off?
imagine if your name was Titus.
Is your alarm going off?
Maybe. Imagine if your name was Titus and then that was like your actual.
Well, no, it's
Like
supposed to. I would
initials.
think your initials are your first name, your middle name, and your last name.
Yeah, but if you just were trying to spell out your first name, you could only get the first 3 letters of Titus. Anyways, all right, so that's enough of arcade games and
Yeah.
the peak. We really are hitting our peak early. Megan,
Yeah.
this is a big weekend for you and for the world.
Yeah, it was a big weekend for me.
Yeah. Everyone in Chicago.
Yeah.
It was pretty big.
So I want to hear all about it, because you know what? I've refrained from asking you anything about it. I know nothing about what happened this weekend other than what I saw on social media, which is what everyone else knows.
Should we start before the race though?
Yeah,
like some of the weekend.
I took some notes
All right,
because I knew we'd forget.
Because I've got B-roll up the wazoo that Brandon can be thrown in here
Yeah.
for this
So yeah, we flew in on Friday.
on an airplane.
Yeah.
Good.
2-hour flight, but it's
Always
really like
good.
a 1-hour flight because
'Cause
you
you
get
go
that
back in
time
time.
difference. So that's cool.
I don't even think it was 2 hours.
An hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Let's hear more about the plane details.
Yeah. We went straight to
They had these
packet
cool
pickup,
tables you could put down in front of you.
which I'm so used to going to like Boston or a city where like everything's all sort of centrally located. Packet pickup, you gotta take a freaking car.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude,
They're-
it's
Tokyo?
Yeah.
it's a mess. Like the way that they have it set up, like you have to take an Uber or a taxi because everybody stays where we're staying. Like that's the majority of the hotels are over there. So you have to go all the way to the center, And so there was like traffic, like Uber traffic, tough.
It also
time.
was a Friday, you
Yeah.
know, afternoon in the city, so it was a bit of a mess. But anyway, we
Okay.
got there, picked up the bib. It was pretty seamless. It was cool. I was at table 1. There was like 100 tables you could go to.
Did you walk as slow as you could to that table, just so everyone knew?
No, but
I'd just be doing the claymation stop motion, like as slow as I could, just making sure everybody saw me. Oh, table 1.
This is where I go.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
We ran into some of the faster bastards and
Yeah.
local runners here on our way in, like Matt Kaczarski and those guys. Rigo was on our plane. So that was fun going in. And then we ran into a lot of people that were like, hey, I know you guys.
Yeah. We didn't spend a ton of time in the expo just because, you know, expo, once
Yeah.
you've seen one, you've seen them all.
I
Yeah.
will say this, the first time I went to the Chicago Marathon, the expo was insane. Like it had the coolest stuff there. It was back in the day before like internet had taken over. And so like,
Do you also feel like you're a little jaded now?
no, because they had carpet down over the floor.
So it was the carpet that did it.
They did that. They had like vehicles in there.
Dude, Aladdin over here. So with the expo, do you think that's because Nike maybe has more of a say, like the bigger brands have more of a say now as far as who gets to come onto the floor? Like, is that a thing?
I mean, all the brands are there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like
So
Asics
it's-
was
okay.
there, Brooks was
Okay.
there, Hoka.
All right.
Everybody's
Balance.
there. It just, the first year, it just seemed like people were spending money on booths, and I think they spend it in other areas now.
Okay.
Like I think back then that without the internet and
Yeah, I see what you're
Instagram and stuff like that,
It's like putting
your money went to like these expos.
putting ads in Runner's World
Yeah.
or Runner Times. That was
Running times.
running times.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So anyway, then we were trying to find a dinner spot on the way home, which I had our Uber driver drop us at a restaurant that was closed. So that was amazing.
Nice.
And then we walked back
Like
to
we get out of the car and she's like, it doesn't look like the restaurant's here anymore.
Yeah, it was like not even like not open, like it had been like done for like a year.
Like
Okay.
the
Like,
windows
boarded
were
up.
dusty.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But it was amazing because when I Googled it online, it said open. So that was fun.
Did you then send a recommendation into Google?
No.
No. Okay.
She called Jarrett, who of course went right to Yelp and read it and filed complaints.
Yeah, he's on it.
No, so we ended up back in our hotel lobby. We were staying at the Palmer House, which is a really nice hotel. And they obviously knew all the runners were in town, so they had a menu there with like a bunch of carbs. So we just sat in our pretty lobby and had some dinner.
And then I kind of texted one of our good friends and Mac, and he came over and I was having a martini. Meg was being good and just having a glass of wine.
Uh-huh.
And Mac sat down and I'd already kind of finished my first martini.
Yeah.
So when he sat down, he ordered a martini. I ordered another martini.
Yeah.
And then one time I went up to go to the bathroom. When I got back, there was a fresh martini.
Wow.
And so
I got a text at like 8 or like 7:45 that was like, I'll be back in 30 minutes. And then it was like an hour went by and he's like, I'll be back in an hour. And I was like, I'm out.
It's like a game of tag, but with martinis.
yeah, I ended up having about 4 martinis with Mac.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
needless
That'll
to say, my morning was a little bit shaky for the shakeout.
But
run.
you did do your 20-mile run before you left for Chicago.
Yes, that morning I had done 20 miles.
So that's,
Yeah.
dude, that's like a Saturday. You're good.
Yeah.
I feel like you judge weekends by when you do your long run.
It is. That was the weekend.
Yeah.
True.
But I will tell you, getting on a plane, so I ended up getting up at 4 a.m. that morning and getting the run knocked out. I was done with 20 miles before 8:40, which was amazing. So, like, to me, the rest of the trip and the day was like, that's just gravy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And Megan, though, you had something to worry about.
Sunday's race, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
But so Abbott does a 5K the day before the marathon.
Oh, right.
And we had friends, Allie Feller and Megan Featherston, running. So we got up to go spectate in the morning because it was before the Kefui shakeout run. So we walked down there,
Sorry.
watched some of that, and it was fun. We met up with them.
It was fun. I have all these photos that I haven't used. Like, there was people dressed as like Pikachu. There's a dude all dressed in gold. There was like tons. We got pictures of Kara Goucher, who was running. Her son ran really well.
Kira D'Amato won.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like,
So this was
I think she jogged to the finish.
This wasn't the furry convention. This was
No, this was a 5K.
5K. But is that a?
I saw a bunch of 40s people from 40 Run. So Toby and those guys.
Like just doing Edward 40 hands.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool. So is that a tradition to dress up at that 5K, or is that just?
No, I just think people are having fun. Well, it's kind of cool. The one guy, Toby, who runs with 40 Runs.
Yeah.
He did the 5K. Mm-hmm. And I think he might have even come to the Kefui shakeout. And then he flew back to London and did a half marathon in London on Sunday.
Wait, really?
So, which I don't even understand the time, how you can do that, because you're going into going into the future.
6 hours ahead
of us. So you're losing,
dude.
You're losing like 7 hours.
If you do that too much, you're probably like losing a year of your life and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like that movie that I love, that I watched again, Interstellar.
The Land Before Time.
When the guy's waiting and the gravity of the planet slows,
yeah.
or like your time is going normal, but for the guy in space, he's like, I've been waiting here for 23 years. And it was 2 hours.
Is that kind of like what happens in Inception? There's different, or is that just alternate realities?
That's alternate realities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so 5K was cool. Yeah, I was trying to figure out when the Berlin Marathon was. That was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks
2 weeks
before.
ago.
Because I was trying to think about Featherston running the 5K. Okay.
She just jogged it with Allie and some friends, and Allie had never been to Chicago before, so when she was finished with the 5K, we walked her over to the Bean because she wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Took a couple pictures.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
it was kind of crazy because Kefui shakeout run was at what time?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. So we got up really early. So it was, again, like one of those time weird things. Like we did a 5K, we went and did tourist stuff, and then we had like 2 hours to hang out before we went to the Kefui run.
Yeah. That's a generous amount of time. It's hard to fill that kind of time too. You don't know what you're supposed to do. You're like, I woke up and I'm waiting for this run. What'd you even do to fill up that 2 hours?
It kind of went by.
Yeah, I was going to say it went by pretty fast. By the time we were like done with...
Because we went and got coffee and all this stuff. But
that's pretty cool.
Lynn, a ton of people showed up.
Yeah.
A lot of Believe in the Run, Kefui
I wasn't
crossover.
expecting, because we were going to like Kefui shakeout run, and yeah, we promoted it, but I just was, for whatever reason, not expecting people to really care about us being there. I just assumed they were all there for Mike, and we strolled up like a few minutes beforehand because I wanted to get a picture with the Megan Murray, who was also there.
Oh yeah, you need to talk about that.
Yeah. So she and I just became friends over Instagram because people were confusing us because we have the exact same spelling and the exact same name.
Yeah.
And we were both running Chicago Marathon. So like people were trying to track us and getting confused.
That's what happened to me. I looked it up and I'm like, well,
yeah. So Fleet Feet store down there reached out to me and they're like, I see you signed up for this. And I was like, not me, dude. So like just a bunch of confusion. But anyway, we were like, we have to get a picture together. And so we decided to meet a few minutes before the Kefui shakeout run to get our photo, which we did. And it was super fun. She's a very sweet person.
Robbie, we took more pictures with people than at any event we've ever taken.
Really?
Yeah, but within like a matter of like 10 minutes of before the run started, I feel like we probably took like 1 million photos.
It probably was a little less than 1 million. But
very overwhelmed with people.
it was fun though, but there was like people were queuing up.
Yeah, like the paparazzi.
It was great.
That's cool.
And then so actually Kefui was meeting like 100 yards in another direction. So we had probably like 100 people over by us. And we found out Kefui's group was about 100 people over here. So we just brought our whole group here. And you could have seen like when the two groups came together.
It's like the Sharks versus the Jets.
Well, no, like Mac and the A6 team were like all like, whoa, where'd all these people come from? Because all of a sudden it was just like, boom.
Yeah.
But the best part is, so we go the shakeout run. Megan, you turn around early because you didn't want to really, it was a point to point. So she would have been on her feet a lot longer.
Well, we were going to a pizza place and I was like already feeling like very overwhelmed I love that people want to come and say hi and take their photos, and it was like the best, but it was also just like very overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah.
Before a race.
That's
So
for
I was
anyone.
like, I'm going to go be an introvert, and I just did half of it and then went back to the hotel.
So I'm running
like
with
it.
our friend Lynn.
Yep.
And going in the opposite direction, I see Emily Sisson. Real quick, I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
That's Emily Sisson. And Lynn's like, yeah, that was Emily Sisson. So
Didn't you talk to Emily Sisson at New York City Marathon?
I did.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
did.
Continue.
I'd met her
We've
before.
interviewed her,
I've
like
been,
very apparent what she looks
Continue.
like.
I've been in her face.
Continue.
Anyway, so she runs by and Lynn's like, I go, man, because I was carrying the 35 millimeter, the regular camera shooting pictures at the run. And I was like, I should have gotten a photo. And Lynn's like, let's do it. I'm like, they're already like 100 yards that way. He's like, they're not moving that fast. We can catch up to them.
Yeah. An Olympian, world champion, not running too fast.
So we turn around, we start chasing him. Of course, Lynn starts dropping into like the 7s and like trying to hunt him down. I'm just like running with this camera and I'm like, oh, this sucks. And Lynn's like, I'm 100% sure that. I was like, Lynn, are you sure that was her? He's like, I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure. So I was like, okay. He finally catches up to her. He stops her. I'm all winded. I'm cross-eyed from chasing her down. I'm like, hey, I'm a big fan. Can we take some pictures? And I'm starting to like, okay. It doesn't look 100% right.
So
but
you're
I'm like,
taking pictures?
maybe, yeah.
You're
and she's like,
good.
I'm like,
Good
you
to
can
get
keep-
those pictures.
I have them. I'm like, they'll be part of the podcast. I'm taking pictures and I'm like looking. I'm like, this can't be her. And so we stop and talk to her, and we know she's wearing Hoka's. And
Here's Emily Sisson sponsored
New
by
Balance.
Right.
And
Maybe they were prototypes.
and I go, we're really big fans. And I said, my wife is gonna be in the ADP corral tomorrow. And she goes, so will I. And I was like, what? You start at the front. And then I just looked at her and I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
And now I'm stuck.
Oh no.
And I'm taking pictures. So anyway, I'm like, fuck. So I turn around and now the group is gone. Okay. So not only
Oh, you were with the group before this?
we were running with the group.
Snap.
They left the group to go
Oh
take
my
pictures of an
gosh,
influencer
dude.
who looks nothing like Emily Sisson. I cannot wait till
you
you
gotta
see
see
these
the photo.
photos. She looks nothing like her.
Anyway, we're running back and Lynn's like,
Wait, so she thought you did actually recognize her.
she thought, yeah, because she's on Instagram.
He said that we met her in New York, and apparently she responded with, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. Anyway, so
Oh my gosh.
I'm like running back with Lynn. I'm like, that wasn't her. And he's like, yeah, sorry about that. Because I did tell you it was 100% her. I was like, yeah. I said, my bad. No worries. But now the group is gone.
You should have said to him, "Oh, so we all look the same, don't we?"
That'd be good. So we're running up and the group is gone. And I'm just
Oh my
like,
gosh, dude.
this is me again. Second group run where I'm lost. So I have to call Kefui, and he was nice enough to come get us because we were along the waterfront and you had to cut in under this, like go underground and pop back up to go where we were going to this pizza place. But yeah.
Did you see her at all the rest of the weekend?
Yes. Guess who she was running next to in some of the photos.
I can show you a photo because she's in my photo from the
What?
race.
The first 1.5 mile, her and Megan was running next to each other.
And Meg was like,
That's
"Oh,
why
hey,
I'm pink.
Emily." I kind of know what Emily Sisson looks like, and I think
ain't
I would
that.
know it's.
She was running the other direction.
Dude, if someone told me though, 100% it's
And
her,
Lynn
I
was
would,
like
I would
100%,
believe him.
yeah.
I believe him.
And I was like, I don't want to miss this opportunity. Yeah, so we get to the pizza place. Meg's not there, obviously. I did get you a Kefui t-shirt.
I appreciate that because I was really hoping someone would snag me one. It was pretty cool.
It's a nice. They did a good job with it. And when we were there, it was a lot of fun. I will tell you, Chicago pizza, bottom of my bucket. Like it's right above Pizza Hut. Like deep dish pizza.
Above
okay.
Pizza Hut? Pizza Hut's all right.
I'd have
back
to
in the
side
day,
to
Pizza
side.
Hut.
I'd have
Okay.
to side by
Yeah.
side. Maybe Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay, fair.
But like everybody builds up this deep dish pizza.
Yeah.
I was like, no way, that Detroit style. I think for going out, Detroit might be my new favorite,
Yeah.
especially the 313 that's in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Yeah.
I like our homemade pizzas that we make, and I like New York style pizza. So we actually got regular flat Chicago pizza. I guess they call it like pub pizza or something.
Okay, yeah.
And that tasted like crap too. So Chicago,
That makes me
you can come
that's
at me.
sad, man.
Yeah. Like I thought, I was like, I've never.
And this
had it.
wasn't an inferior establishment you were eating at?
No,
It was
this is supposed to be one of their good ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Lou Donato's or something.
You didn't go to the place from the bear, did you? Mr. Beef or whatever.
I did try, but apparently that doesn't exist.
Really?
I don't think it does.
I thought it does.
The beef?
It's called.
Isn't it called the beef?
Oh, is it just called? Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. But anyways,
All right.
I guess I'm sure there's like it says Mr. Beef. It
So
looks like it's open.
Megan got to try another pizza. Megan, where did your pizza come from?
The Village.
And
That's
so
what it was called.
she's going to lay low for the evening. And so we go pick up Megan a pizza before I go out. And tell me about your pizza, Meg.
It was just okay.
Right. Guess what? There was no sauce on it.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
She got
Is that a thing?
toast with cheese.
Is that a Chicago thing too?
No, I think I just ordered wrong. It's probably on me.
You
It
got
was fine though.
I requested no sauce. It was crazy that it came like that.
Well, she was carb loading, so she got herself some garlic bread and a pizza.
Well, someone did. I see a review here from 2 weeks ago. It says their pizza is gross. It's a sad excuse for Chicago pizza. The crust was cardboard. The sauce was tasteless. Maybe it just didn't taste
there,
like
I just
anything.
didn't taste it. That could have been it.
Is it
yeah.
you looked at the place that you went to?
Yeah.
It says Village Pizza.
Yeah.
Is it a chain?
No, I don't think so.
It said it was the oldest Italian restaurant in Chicago.
And it tasted like it.
Maybe there's just a lot of villages in Chicago.
I don't think you're looking at the right one.
It's right downtown.
Village. Okay, we'll talk about this afterwards and make sure we update everyone next week.
So
All right.
We had the first meeting of the ramen boys while Megan was chilling in her hotel, which was Greg Itahara, Lynn, who I've already mentioned. I think his last name is just pronounced Sue.
Okay.
Lynn
Yeah.
Sue.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then Megan Featherston jumped in with us.
Nice.
And we went to Ramen San.
Okay. Is that pleasing?
Yes, we did sake bomb, and we did I think it was
Is a sake bomb the same as like a Red Bull
Pretty much.
bomb, but
I mean,
you're doing it with sake?
you have a beer, you put some sake in it, you drink
Is
it.
it on the same level? Is it kind of what younger people do, or is it anyone can do a sake bomb?
I mean, I think anyone.
Oh, okay.
Because
Who's trying to get hammered?
I think Greg was the one who suggested it.
Was it good? I
And
never
he's
had one of
got
those.
children.
Yeah.
So it was fine.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't like
Yeah.
earth shattering. I forget the other beer we had. It wasn't Sapporo. It wasn't.
All right.
Anyway.
So ramen was good. Good for.
But I got my bowl was too big.
Yeah.
I got this thing called the sumo bowl, and it had dumplings in the ramen.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It was, but it was too much.
So you didn't put it in a Ziploc bag and take it home with you?
No.
That's why I always carry around a gallon bag with me. You never know.
Yeah. I tried to be respectful though. And so instead of bringing back a bag of ramen, I just tried to get home at a reasonable hour so that Megan could sleep.
I mean, that would have been nice if you kept the broth and been like, here you go, Meg, sodium dose.
Oh, I was
right
thinking
here.
more like a warm bag she could cuddle up with.
That too.
Yeah.
Either way, I think I would have been like, no thanks. Hard pass.
Here's my leftover ramen juice.
So night before the race, you had the Village Pizza or whatever.
Yeah.
With no sauce. What did you take a scratch?
I did.
Hyperhydration?
Yeah.
Or what's it? I always
High sodium now.
I ordered some of that last week. Finally,
Yeah.
instead of bumming it from you all
You
the
know
time.
what you don't need though? I have Element up the rear end.
But it's not 1,500 grams of
It's
1,000
1,000.
It's 1,000.
milligrams.
It's 1,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty close.
And you got packets for days.
Finally
okay.
broke down and
okay.
spent $45.
But that's good. That's good. You'll use it.
Yeah, because now I don't have to steal it from you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how expensive that was. I'm sorry. I probably owe you some money.
No, but we have Element now that
Yeah.
you can take.
Okay, good.
Lots of it, like a year supply.
Heck yeah.
It didn't matter though that Thomas thought that he would be nice and quiet coming back in because our neighbors were freaking
No
having
way.
a rager with 10-year-old kids.
I don't understand this. I don't understand, like, when we go to do a marathon, this has happened to us a couple times. We get stuck next to a room where the person is clearly not there for the marathon. This entire hotel was booked by marathon people. We got the one room that was a suite at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
And they had like their entire family
Like
and
they had
extended family
six
living
people
in there.
Dude. And for some reason, and I saw the kids are like 6. They were letting them stay up as late as they wanted. And TV was blaring.
11:45, they were screaming.
I don't get why parents do that to themselves.
Right.
Because the next day is pure hell.
While we are talking about sleep real quick.
Wait, Okay.
Oh,
We need to tie this into our sponsor.
I mean, did you bring a Lagoon pillow with you guys?
you were going to it. You
Yeah.
did.
you know what happened?
liar.
What?
No, I packed a bag. There was so much crap in it that I didn't have room for a pillow.
But did you have did you keep the case?
I had that little
case?
bag.
Yeah.
It still wouldn't have gotten in there because I literally left some stuff in Chicago in the room, some nice stuff, including a full bottle of Bombay.
Yeah. A lot of booze.
Wow. Do you you could have mailed it to yourself there.
At that point.
All right, first check-in. We're here with Emma Bates. Emma, people are running New York City Marathon. Give me a tip for running New York City Marathon.
First of all, don't do it. Go find yourself a flat course.
I think that's probably a good idea. But for those of us that are doing it, maybe do some hill work.
Sure, that'll help.
Okay, but anyway, so Lagoon is again a sponsor of this episode.
Do you know who else they're a sponsor of?
Emma Bates?
Yeah, who we hung out with.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did hang out with her. It was very fun. If you guys want a pillow, they
Sorry,
do
Thomas.
this really cool thing where you can go to lagoonsleep.com/believe, take this sleep quiz where you basically just explain how you sleep, your preferences,
cold, on your side.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Did you guys practice that?
That was super weird. And then it'll populate like the best pillow for you. I think I'm the fox. I always forget.
Otter.
Otter?
Fox and the Hound.
I think you're the fox. I'm the otter.
Either way, they give you one that's designed based off of your preferences, and it's really cool. We love them. We obviously use them every night. They might be coming with me on the next trip because the pillows at that hotel were not great.
And
No.
they're founded by runners, right? They're owned
Yeah.
by runners.
Ryan is a phenomenal guy over there.
Yeah.
Who started it.
And they even sell running hats now, don't they?
Yeah, Ryan, show him the hat, the beautiful Lagoon hat.
Sport it. Put it on.
I did my hair this morning, and that takes a long time. Robbie, you look good with a hat.
Oh, they actually are pretty nice.
Yeah, that's a sweet hat.
But so some of the big deals they're doing right now is you can save $50 on a performance pack. So that comes with a pillow, a pillowcase, a travel compression bag, like we're talking about, and the sweet hat, and a bunch of stuff on there. So just go to lagoonsleep.com/believe, and all of the good info's on there.
Cool. So that night when you got sleep or did you actually get sleep that night or what?
I don't know, man. I don't think I got a lot.
What do you do in that situation?
Here's the thing is I go into it knowing I need to get my sleep that week before the night before the race. And I'm banking on just not sleeping well the night before a race.
That's a good strategy.
Because you never do. Like you're stressed out
That's true.
or there's freaking 27,000 people in the hotel room next to you.
And I asked her if she wanted to get earplugs or something because we knew the night before they were noisy.
Yeah.
So this is the second night. And I was like, do you want to do earplugs?
I don't do earplugs, so I said no.
Oh no,
Yeah.
not at all.
I can't stick something in my ear while I'm sleeping. That's like being claustrophobic. I can't do it.
She did
Feels
try to
very-
do the sound machine,
Yeah.
but yours cut out after a little while. Like mine, I have a 10-hour white noise if you ever need
I
it.
think mine's 7.
Okay.
Don't you just have an app on your phone?
Yeah, that's what
Oh.
I'd used.
Oh.
But for some reason it turned off. Anyway.
So what time did you get up?
Yeah.
4?
Now
that
here's the bonus,
Yeah.
Robbie. That's for Chicago time.
5
a.m.,
Eastern,
which is
so
our
it's
normal
normal.
wake up time.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that was
nice.
pretty nice.
So what time did you go to bed?
I was like laying in
Not to
bed
spend
at
too
like
much time on the sleep, but I need to figure this out for myself.
I mean, I was laying in bed at 8, but I was
Okay.
up until
Okay.
I probably fell asleep for an hour in there and then got woken up at like 10.
All right. I got
Okay. The thing that we had to do. Have you ever been to a hotel where they have no coffee maker or coffee thing in your room?
I'm sure I have. Yeah. I don't usually make the coffee in my room, but sometimes I do.
There's no coffee maker. This is marathon morning. We're getting up at 4.
Yeah, that's a
So Megan went out and bought herself.
There's a Target right down the road, so I spent $20 on a coffee maker.
no way.
Yeah.
Then
What a
she's
time
like,
to be alive.
she
Yeah.
forgot cups. So I'm like on the way home I walked back from the Kefui party with Kefui, and we stopped and got the paper to go cups and stuff like that.
So they didn't have a coffee. They didn't have coffee in the hotel.
No. When I asked them if we could, like, because I've been to hotels where they don't put coffee makers
Right,
in your room and
but
then you can request one.
Or-
Or they have coffee down there
Yeah.
and they had none.
What? No coffee, like a restaurant without like no coffee.
Not open early enough.
That's insane.
Yeah.
For marathon weekend.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the staff at this Starbucks doesn't. I don't understand. There's got to be hotel guests there all the time. They just weren't good at like expediting drinks.
Yeah.
Like I went down there when it opened. It was for the day before, and they hadn't turned on the oven yet. They hadn't brewed the coffee yet, and I'm like, dude, you guys, if it opens at 7, you got to be ready to serve coffee and make sandies.
Dude, nothing. Ever since the pandemic, man, nothing's the same.
Yeah.
All the goth kids were working there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All of the Smashing Pumpkins grandkids.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Did you see Billy Corgan while you were there?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
He's around every corner.
Okay. I would play that song right before. If I ran Chicago, I played Today.
That's good.
Right before I was about to like go out the door just to get the bumped up.
Megan, you ask every week what song did we talk about?
Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins Today.
Okay.
Oh,
So, Robbie, I did see your fellow iconic mustache man,
which one?
Coach Bennett.
Oh, he was there.
Yeah, I saw him talking on the street, and we were busy trying to hunt down Megan, so I didn't realize. I was like, "Hey, Coach Bennett." And he's like, "Hey," and I just kept walking.
Yeah,
I did get a photo though. I was like,
his mustache is pretty,
dude,
pretty.
Intense.
I don't think I can get to that level.
You are on that level.
Really?
I got a photo. I'll show it to you.
I've been trying to get there. So.
Dude, I think you're there.
Sweet.
Have you been using a new conditioner? Because it looks fantastic. It's looks straighter than normal.
Nothing out of. It's just longer, I think.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
All right, you really got it going.
It's starting to get a life of its own. I mean, winter's coming. You got to protect that upper lip.
Got to get that caterpillar.
Yeah, you don't want to get frostbite.
Oh, are you going to do those photos that everybody does with the icicles in their mustache?
You know what's weird is I don't know. Maybe just because last winter it wasn't that cold, or last couple winters it was never really that cold. I don't know.
I think in honor of Kipchoge, you should get a nice stripe going
Yeah.
on it.
Protein shake.
All right, so we get up. Megan gets up.
Coach Castor was in town with
saw
Dina.
that.
So he texted me in the morning, was like, I'm down in the lobby. Whenever you come down, we can chat before you go off.
Man, that's a good little bonus.
He's taller than I thought.
He's very tall.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Slender man.
Yeah, he was there. He walked Megan to gate 1 with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, gave me just some, last minute, like, you got this, you're good to go. You did all the hard work.
And now you're walking up to the start line, or you're in the tent or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you in the tent for?
Long enough to get pissed off that everybody else had a pair of Alphafly 3s.
Yeah.
Fair.
I was probably in there for like an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay. When you're in the tent, do you feel like you got this?
You told me you felt intimidated.
Yeah. I was in a tent with a bunch of people and kitted out all black Nike outfits and Alphafly 3s, like in teams. And then I'm like by myself chilling.
But were any of them wearing a Believe in the Run hat?
No.
Exactly.
And how many of those people did you pass?
Surprisingly quite a few, but a lot of people I think just DNF'd when I think there was
They saw
a mission.
Megan, they DNF.
No, there was a mission, and if it wasn't going to happen, that was there was no point in finishing the race kind of deal.
Dumb. Finish the race. That's what you're there for.
But I will say the ADP tent was really amazing. Like it was this heated tent because it was cold in the morning. We
And
had
this isn't-
private bathrooms.
ADP isn't the processing check
It's not.
processing.
American
It's
Development
different,
Program.
Oh, okay.
It's called the American Development Program. You basically just have to have
I
a
thought
certain.
you guys are just doing accounting the whole time. Okay.
Some people probably were.
So
They're withholding.
no, so tell me again what it was.
It's called the American Development Program. You start one little area right behind the elites, and you just have to have a certain qualifying time.
It seemed like it was mostly women. Was there men in there too?
No, it was 50-50, I would say.
Really? I guess I only saw the women look cool. Because they had they looked, when you
Yeah.
saw them rolling in the
That's
first,
the thing is,
they were all, the women packed in tight together,
Yeah.
all with the same shoes, all with the same gear.
I feel like women runners look cool. I feel like guys not, very rarely.
I'll tell you what, the dudes in the front,
Yeah, they look cool.
the Africans, they look amazing. They are going so fast, and they look calm.
Yeah.
You're sprinting at that point.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they look like they're gliding across like smooth water.
It's like they have. It's like if I was speed skating, that's probably what it would look like. Don't you think?
You think that graceful?
Robert Ono.
Probably not. Yeah, I'd definitely be saying some oh no's in there. But the so you're walking up the start line, but seriously, aside from the intimidation factor,
Yeah.
do you feel fine? Like, how do you feel?
I felt good. I was like really excited. So there was a field right next to our tent where you could go warm up, which I did not do at all. And
You're like, I'm different.
yeah, I just don't
I'm built
do that.
different.
And it was a shared space with the pros.
Okay.
So like I was like out there watching like the pros just do their like warm up loops
Now
and stuff. And it
that's
was just a very cool environment.
That's where I would get intimidated because, like, if you are out there, like, you're in the ADP tent, so you're a big deal. But then, like, do you want to warm up in front of like the greats?
No, that's why I didn't do
I
it.
know I could see Megan being like, I ain't gonna start swinging my leg and doing little sprints.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because you'd be like, am I even doing this right? I don't want to look like I'm doing this wrong.
But so then they corral us all out towards the start line, but the elites have to be put into the like start line before we get to go. And so they get us up as close as they can. So basically we're just waiting outside of the elite tent for 15 minutes while they're all getting their like whatever they're doing, getting ready to go in. And so it's cool because we just got to sit there watching them, like, you know,
that's cool.
stripping down to their gear and like getting ready to walk over.
Now, you said somebody had full tights on and over their short
Emma
tights.
Bates.
And did you find out how
I don't know how she got them off.
Do you think she just cuts them? Like, she's like,
That's something I should have asked.
What the hell?
I
It's
know.
like there's one question you should have asked.
I know.
how'd you get them tights off?
She has disappearing tights.
Yeah.
Dude, ASICS has that next level technology.
Or would it be cool if you pressed a button on the side and the tights like went and turned into buttons?
Okay. Something like that. Yeah, but Galen was running, like warming up, like right next to me.
Really?
And like he was all by himself and he seems angry all the time.
That's
but-
actually a great example of someone who does not look cool when they're running.
Yeah.
Every
I'm
time
glad
I
you
see-
said that because I'm working hard to get him on the podcast right now. So maybe
Yeah, well, right. Good
I just
luck.
said most dudes, including myself, obviously. So
I will say you're right. There were several people that I saw running like 220, 230. You would see their stride and you'd be like, how did that, like, it'd be mile 17.
Oh,
You'd be
I
like,
didn't mean-
how did that guy get up here?
I didn't necessarily mean the stride. I just meant like
just general
there's
coolness.
He always wears that skull cap thing. It looks like you're swimming. Do you know what I'm talking
swimmer's
about?
cap?
Yeah, and then I'm sorry, but if you are wearing the nasal strips, sorry, Pat Blair's probably listening to this. You don't look cool. Like, it's just like I'm not against wear. I would wear it if it helped me run better. Probably would, but I'm just
I've worn
saying
them.
like, but you don't look cool.
No.
Yeah.
I usually only wear it when I have sunglasses on so you can't really see it.
Hey, lady.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve Erklin had it up there at the start line. But okay, so Galen Rupp is warming up.
So then, yeah, we're like waiting there. It's like at this point I'm getting real cold because I've taken off my pants. I just have a throwaway jacket on and we're waiting there
Wait,
for like 10 minutes.
You took off your pants and all you had on was a throwaway
Okay,
jacket.
I had my shorts on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My
Yeah.
my throwaway pants or whatever. And so I was like getting really cold. So I was like ready to run at that point because I was like, I just want to get warm.
I wonder if anybody's had that dream. You know how you have the dream you show up to school without clothes on?
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody's had that dream where like they make it to the race and they take off their like top layer and they're like, oh crap, I forgot all my clothes.
Question should have asked Emma Bates.
We'll have to have her back on.
So oh, shoot, I forget what's happening now. Okay, so you get to the start. So
They shuffle us all in.
I was talking about the temperature. It was perfect temperatures, all things
perfect.
considered, right?
Oh, perfect.
Robbie, I
Yeah.
was wearing a puffer jacket.
Yeah.
It was dreamy that weather.
And it wasn't like windy or maybe a little bit.
There were sections.
Okay.
But I feel like for every headwind, we probably got a tailwind.
Yeah,
I
And
just
it
didn't
wasn't
feel
like
it.
Chicago wind like that.
Right.
That pounding wind. It was
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Generic wind.
Yeah.
That's how I like to call it.
It wasn't tropical storm wind like you mentioned on the last podcast.
Yeah. It was Lake Michigan wind.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm thinking this is Chicago Marathon. This is a big Olympic trials qualifier year. There's going to be a huge freaking pack going for this 237.
Oh, yeah,
And I'm just going
right.
to tuck myself in there.
Right.
Which was also recommended by your coach.
So one thing that Castor said to me before the race, which like I really like clung to, was that he was like, your 6-minute flats, he's like, when you're in that group, are going to feel metabolically like 6:15s because you're working together. You're not going to have you're going to tuck in. You're not going to have headwinds. It's going to feel more comfortable.
Okay.
So I was like mentally like, I need to find this pack.
Right.
This pack never formed, never became a thing. But I saw this group of 3 women who had the Alphaflys on, the Nike kits, going out at what I assumed was
Olympic.
like the trials time.
Uh-huh.
And so they go out and they make a pretty big gap between me, like immediately. And so I'm like, I need to catch them because I need to like tuck into someone.
Uh-huh.
And so I spent the first 2.5 miles chasing them down, which might have been a mistake because I had like a 5:40 in there, 5:45 maybe.
Well, you have to explain what was your pace you were trying to run.
A 5:58.
Okay, so 5:40 would be
I get
an
that.
extension.
Right.
But anyway, so I finally caught them and I was like, it was almost like immediate when I was tucked into them. I was like, oh, this is right. This feels sustainable. This is good.
Okay.
And that lasted for maybe 1.5 miles before one of them dropped off and then one of them picked it up and it was like that was over.
So you spent like 2.5 miles catching this group, and then
that dissipated almost immediately. So then I tucked into this other couple because I heard them talking and he was like, that was right around 6 flat. This is perfect. We can hang here. And I was like, here's my people. So I just tucked in behind this couple for like 2, 3, 4 miles maybe. And I was like, this is great.
So when we saw you at 1.5,
Yeah.
so Feathers and
I was chasing.
Feathers and I were spectating, and we were able to see Megan 5 times. And I have to say, every time we saw you, you had a smile on your face, and you looked like, I wasn't checking the clock because I didn't want to be distracted by whether or not she was hitting. I just wanted to see how she felt. And she looked great the whole time, so I didn't even know she was off or struggling with these things.
So quick question. You said, looking at your splits, mile 2 was a 5:47. Was that, so that wasn't a GPS error? Because everyone talks about the GPS issues.
It could have been, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't think my watch was off except for mile 14 and it got weird. Everything
Okay.
else I think was pretty accurate.
I see. Yeah.
What happened at 14?
It just got
says
weird.
5:38.
Yeah.
Because we saw you there.
I was not running a 5:38.
Yeah.
You could have been.
No, all their
We
other
saw,
miles were.
we saw Feathers and I, and you got excited and sped up.
Nope.
Okay.
Hard no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. Okay. So, anyways.
I will say it felt like an effort from the gun. Like I was like, but in my mind I was like, well, you've never done this before. Maybe this is how it's going to feel today.
But you have run that pace a lot during your training.
But not for 26.2 miles.
But you're saying from the gun it felt hard, but you've run that hard for
it felt
half marathon.
But like if you've had a good marathon, you know in the beginning it feels effortless.
Right. No, I'm saying, yeah, I get it.
But so it felt like it did in training, which was like sustainable, but
Okay.
I felt
An
Tokyo was
effort.
like that.
yeah.
Like when we went out, I was just like, this feels great.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like when I broke 3 for the first time at the Woodlands, like that race never felt great. So in my mind, I was like, well, it can still
This is it.
happen.
Okay.
There's still a chance. And I came through the half in 1:19, which was a 2-minute half marathon PR.
Oh yeah, man, you should have seen me trying to do the metric system in my head. It was like, it was not good. And I couldn't find like any things to translate on Google. I was like, marathon kilometers to this to
What were you trying to figure out?
like I was figuring out like when you came to like 8K or like I was trying to figure out not for the half but for the other ones,
Yeah.
like how that translates to the full marathon. I mean, I knew at the half you weren't gonna get it, but like prior to that, I was like,
Wait, to have 119?
It would have been if I held that a 38 high.
and you could see the pace slowing
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
on the fault tracker. So I was like,
Yeah.
anyways, continue.
And so after the half, or probably after 14, I didn't look at my watch anymore. And I was like, I just have to run as hard as I can, and that's all I can do today.
Yeah.
And I know if I saw like the high numbers on my watch, like it would have just spiraled me into more negativity. So I was like, just don't look at the watch anymore. And then I started to get cramps at like 16, but it wasn't like cramps. It was just like the spasms, you know, like the pre. So then I was like, well, I can't push too much harder.
Right. A mile 16. Wow.
Yeah.
And so we saw her at 17, and again, have no clue she's doing airplane wings.
That was like it's over. Like, I'm just going to try and have as much fun as I can.
Okay.
But I guess Thomas thought I was still running really
I
fast.
did.
Yeah. Oh, so
Poor
you
guy.
you didn't even know?
I didn't look at the clock. I didn't look at anything. I'm just like, hey, she looks. So when
That's wild.
so we saw her 1.5, 3, 14, and 17. So we were at 14, and I'm like, it's going to be a stretch to get back to the finish line before everybody's finished. But I'll see how she's feeling at 14. I thought if she doesn't look like she's doing well, then I'll definitely go to 17 so that we can give her that mental, like, hey, we're here for you kind of thing. So I saw her at 14. She looked great.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because I was like, oh, they're going to know now. Because I was trying to take a gel when I saw them. And I was like, oh, I feel like crap.
That just sucked because I'm trying to take pictures and she has like the puff her cheeks out. And I'm like, she's not going to like any of these.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I figured they would have known at that point that I was not feeling great. And Thomas was very oblivious.
Yeah. So, and then I was like, well, we got enough time. Let's just go to 17. And when I saw her there, she's flying around with the wings out. I'm like, oh, she's having a great day.
Did you have I Believe I Could Fly stuck in your head since that was from Space Jam and Michael Jordan in Chicago?
No, that
okay.
wasn't it. Nope.
Maybe that was the problem.
It could have been. Yeah, so the last miles, I mean, it's just so hard. You're just trudging, trying to keep pace, trying not to totally give up.
So someone had told me that you were running behind at that point. Like they're like, she's not. And I'm like, well, you never know. Megan could hit 20 and decide to drop the hammer. So I'm like, I still held out hope. And so
what is this world?
we went to the grandstand.
Yeah.
And which was like sweet. It was the Abbott like passes to get in there. I may have or may not have done some trickery to get in there.
Okay.
Anyway,
good.
So I'm in the
Reassuring.
stands and I look at the clock and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, maybe she didn't, maybe the pros start.
Yeah.
Love it. But I'm like,
maybe we're in Maryland. Maybe we're from Maryland. So it's actually an hour
Yeah.
behind.
East Coast time.
Yeah.
She's going to do it.
so I started looking at it and then I was like, oh, okay. But since I had watched all the other people running, I noticed that it was probably a hard day for a lot of people.
But why?
Here's my theory. When it's a perfect day, maybe people go out and overextend.
That could be.
Because you're like feeling so good in the beginning. You're like, I got this. Today's the day.
Right.
I'm going to do it. Oh, I could run 10 seconds faster than my normal running. Here's the day
probably
to do it. And then you blow up.
Yeah.
So apparently Emily Sisson had a cramp. So she dropped off quite a bit. And then Emma had definitely had a cramp.
She hurt her plantar fascia.
Yeah. And she went when she finished. So she was like, it was her and Emily Sisson for a long time. And then like a bunch of people passed and got in. And then Emma finished in and she went down on the ground as soon as she crossed.
Wow. Now, do you think any of these people were taking cramp crushers?
Probably. That would explain their poor performances.
Do you still have any?
Dude, I think I do, yeah.
Oh,
no, I think I actually threw the final box out because now I have enough nutrition.
Think about it. That would have been a 5-year. It's basically like 5 year.
I don't think they ever expire. They might get better with age.
They start glowing.
It was this weird, for those who don't know this inside joke, there's this nutrition called Cramp Crushers, it's 2Ks. They probably still sell it on Amazon. He got busted by the FDA for something.
Yeah, for being a false
and
product.
I used to
having lead in
for some reason when we were first like reviewing nutrition stuff, we got like 4 boxes of those, or maybe we were gonna work with them for something. And man, I hung on to those for so long and swore by them. They're basically just like
sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar cubes with salt.
And I was like, oh, that helps me with my cramps. But really, I was somewhat new to running marathons. And so I would just get cramps because that's what people do. I had no idea how to hydrate. Anyways, so probably not taking cramp crushers. Enough of that talk. let's get on to miles. Where are we at with you? Mile 20?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I forgot to mention is, so at mile 10, so the day before, Ben Johnson and I had planned to, he was in Corral A, he was going to try and catch up to me and then run together for this sub 2:37 attempt. At mile 10, he passed me like I was walking. The dude was on such a mission.
Oh, he was
clocking 550s like a metronome.
Yeah.
And I think mentally though, I was like, so in Boston, he stayed with me the whole time, even though I slowed down a little bit and we were off pace. And so in my mind, I was like, oh, he's just going to stop and run with me and block this wind and it'll be great. And he just passed me without even. And I was like, oh, and a little bit of my heart just died. And so I think mentally it was like I never found the pack. Like I never found like a group.
Can we also say what happened that morning?
With what? With what? Just say it.
Your period.
Oh. Yeah. I mean,
that
TMI, but it
seems
was worst possible scenario. Woke up and got that. So.
Oh, that sounds like a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's a little bit of backstory that, like, now I'll just stop asking a question.
Now I know what happened.
No, I don't think that
part
would have totally derailed things.
Okay.
But again, these are
surp-
all like mental things that like just chip away.
I was surprised though when you got up and you told me that it didn't I didn't notice any real stress from it. Like you were like, this is unpleasant. This isn't what I would want to have happen. But I didn't see you go into like, you know how sometimes you can tell when someone's like, well, there goes my day.
Yeah.
Have you ever raced in that scenario before?
Oh my God. It's like freaking clockwork, dude. This is the third marathon where I wake up that morning and get it.
No way.
It's like the worst.
It's like it knows.
Yeah. New York City Marathon, last year didn't have anything, wasn't prepared for this at all. And it happened while we were in the VIP tent and I had to go around and ask for something from all the women there.
And she got some from one of the girls at Charm City Run.
Yeah.
No way.
And then when we were at Donna one year, she's like, can you go get, and I'm going to the Rite Aid, like as she's lining up for the race. Like she probably had
the store didn't open until
she had to jump in the porta potty.
They should have on Strava. They should have a PAP, which is like period adjusted pace.
I like that.
instead of gap. You should just like be able to. I don't know how you could figure that out.
Yeah.
Pap schmear.
I'm sure AI could do it.
Yeah. I like that.
Man, that's crazy though. Yeah, I feel like that would be. I obviously have no idea, but I feel like that could be.
Oh, and it's totally different for everyone. So like for some people that could be totally like the end of the day, and for other people it's fine. It wasn't great, but it was fine. But again, I just think there were like all these little things that were like mentally chipping away at my confidence. And
yeah, I get it. I could see that.
And it's also hard when you know like you're not going to hit this goal. Like when that.
Okay, but let's get back to the actual time. 45:02. You almost were a 2:44 marathoner. You're 2:45, which is a 2-minute PR.
Yeah.
Over your previous marathon time.
Yeah, that's
so with all of this stuff going on, you still were able to pull another PR out of your hat. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm sitting there spectating. There's not a lot of people that come in.
I was gonna say, how many people finished?
I think she was 60th.
It was 56th female.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But 56 female. But we don't know how many of those. Like, I wanted to know what number American were you?
Right. So you beat Emily Sisson, right?
Oh, for sure.
At least she did beat
there.
my Emily Sisson.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I did.
Did you beat the other Megan Murray?
Yeah, but she was injured and just going for like a jog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's I mean, with all that, still finishing Chicago Marathon, 56th place. What?
I mean, I'm not,
crazy.
And it's funny because like you texted me, and you're like, I'm sorry it wasn't your day and stuff. But honestly,
she was fine.
I was happy that I finished. I was happy it was a PR. I was happy.
Beautiful day.
I was like there with like all of these amazing people. Like the cheers that I got out on the course were constant.
Really?
Like I never felt like there was a mile went by where someone wasn't yelling, "Go Meg."
That's awesome.
It was just like it, and I mean, I had fun. The first 14 miles were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
until it started to be painful. It was a little less fun, but
So in your mind, you're not like you weren't super bummed that about the missing the OTQ or what?
not at all.
Did you have time to process at that point?
I don't think so, but even like right now as we're talking, like I'm not devastated. Like it was a moonshot goal.
I was gonna say, did it seem like you were prepared to be like, this is a little crazy?
It was insane. It still is insane. Like
It's not over.
it's a wild.
It's not over.
It's a wild ride, and like
Oh, you're gonna get it at some point.
that's what I'm saying. Like I feel very confident I will get there. I don't know how long it's gonna
Well,
take.
you also realize she's qualified like before they lowered the last standard, so she would have qualified
Oh, that's right.
for the last Olympic trials.
Yeah.
So she's up there.
Yeah.
All right, second check-in with Emma Bates, and you won't believe this. I've got Kefui here to do the sound effect. Kefui, hit it. You got to say, hey, what's going on?
Yo, what's going on?
There we go. So they know it's really him. All right, second check-in. For those of you training for New York right now, Emma has some more advice for you, and it's on how to avoid plantar fasciitis.
That's to wear some Metaspeed Sky Plus or Metaspeed Sky Edge. Sorry, Metaspeed Edge Plus.
All right, all the pluses. All right, there we go. Now, when she finished, she went like to her crowd, but Meg Feathers and myself were together, and we went to this one tent that we thought she was going to be at. Turns out it's this like VIP tent. And again, kind of finagled our way in. And
Nice.
I'll tell you what,
VIP tent.
I don't want to tell people the secret, but having a camera helps.
Oh yeah, you can pretty much get it with a camera.
So
Camera and a piece of paper hanging around your neck. You're good to go.
Yeah.
I said I
I'll
wasn't
do
going
it.
to tell anybody the secret, but yeah. So
I've done it before.
we get into the VIP tent, and it is, Robbie, it is star packed. So I'm not talking about just the people that ran that day that were stars. You also had all the past greats were in there,
Like
and
Joni, Dina
agents.
Castor.
Yeah, everybody was in there,
Wow.
and there was beverage service, there was hot plates, there was everything. It was white tablecloth, all the works, tons of stuff. So I'm like,
This is
Megan,
like one of those like post Oscar parties when
Pretty
you're
much.
like, oh, everybody was there.
everybody's getting a bag. We're getting Sony phones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were walking out with like flat
Walkmans.
screen TVs,
Dude, imagine if they were handing out Walkmans there. That'd be cool.
like the old ones, like
Yeah.
the sport.
It would actually be
It
cool.
would be cool. And cassettes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Megan, I finally see her. I'm like, okay, I think she's at her phone. I text her and I'm like, hey, come to where we are. I'll drop my location. You come hang out. She's like, I'm sitting in a tent by myself. I can't move.
Like, have fun. We'll see you later.
Dude, I could barely find the ADP tent, and I was I don't drink beer. I was drinking a beer, and I was like sitting
Goose
by
Island.
myself in a corner, like just trying to stay warm. And he's like, "Hey, come to this tent." And I was like, "Dude, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
I am here right.
She's-
This
you're
is
like
where I live now."
You're basically like a refugee.
yeah.
What I also didn't realize is how far that tent was. That tent was right at the finish line. Meg was at the like family meetup zone, and you've run Chicago. You know what I'm talking about.
Who, me?
He has
Are you
not.
pointing to me?
Oh, you haven't? Okay. I always expect Robbie to run Chicago.
Yeah.
There's a big family meetup zone
okay.
that has like pillars with the last name initial. And by the way, little hack for that, go with something like Z because nobody's last name starts
That's
with
a good
Z.
point.
So
Yeah.
it won't be crowded. If you go to like M or N like that or R, it's going to be packed with people.
X.
So yeah, X is
X is
the
the
one to
one.
go to.
Oh yeah. They don't lump XYZ together because that's what I would do if I was a race.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe have
I
like
think-
2 S's and then XYZ together.
Yeah, no.
Pro tip for you race directors.
So we go.
I just flipped that on you.
You did.
All right.
We go into the tent. We see Megan shivering under a space blanket, and we sit down, and we start talking to her. But a great thing happens. As we're talking to Megan, this woman that we had seen early in our hotel when I was sitting with Mac, and we were getting dinner. This woman stopped by, and she was like really cool. She was like, "You guys, I listen to your podcast. I'm a big fan. I won't bother you." And we're like, you know how we are. We're like, no, you can bother us. But
Yeah.
she was like, no, that's cool.
Uh-huh.
I'm out. We see her in the tent, but I didn't see her at first because I was staring at her shoes because she had the Alphafly 3s on.
Oh yeah.
So she walks by and I'm doing like this, which is the greatest thing ever because I'm like, I always feel awkward because I do look at a lot of women shoes.
Oh, we talked about this before. Like, I feel like weird because you'll be looking at someone coming down the street, and then you go from looking them in the eye to looking what shoes are they wearing. then
It
it just
looks
looks
like
like
you're
you're,
scanning.
Yeah.
the whole body. And I'm like, no, it was
I don't
was
care.
you
Yeah,
then shoes. That's it. There's nothing in
I
between.
want to know who. I know more about you from seeing you and what shoes
Yeah.
you're wearing than anything else. Anyway, so she walks by and I was so happy. She's like, I saw you looking at my shoes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You were worried about the first half of that sentence, weren't you?
and she's like, do you want to see him? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, can I take pictures of him? She goes, sure. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So of course I'm over here, Megan, this one's shivering and they're there. I'm snapping away, taking pictures and trying to get something that we can use on social or whatever. And then
It was Sifan Hassan.
yeah. and then Meg Feathers, we're like, what size are these? And she's like a size 10. And so Meg was like, this one was like, it's not gonna matter if I try them on. But
Right.
Meg Feathers slid them on, even though she wears, I think, an 11 and a half.
No, 10 and a half.
10 and a half. Okay, so that's not that bad.
Yeah.
And she was like, these feel really good. And you saw them, they're kind of beat up.
Yeah. It looked like she maybe wore them for some training beforehand.
Yeah.
She raved about them. She said that was like the best shoes she's ever worn. And she also ran
wow.
a 20-minute PR that day. Casual.
Okay.
That's
So
a big
yeah.
one.
Yeah. It's a huge PR. Wait, so how did she have a pair of the shoes?
So there's this Nike Dreamweaver program,
Okay.
which I thought was only for women going for the OTQ, and they were supporting them with shoes and gear and
Okay.
race entries. But she ran a 304, and it sounded like that was the goal. So I'm not really sure what.
Oh wow. So you're saying you could have had a pair of Alphafly 3s?
No, I asked Nike for them, and they said no.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm kind of surprised by that.
I know. Megan was running in the Vaporfly 1.
Alphafly,
Yeah, that's what I said.
which I
Alphafly.
still love. So
Yeah.
whatever.
But the thing is, the shoe just looks more to me, the biggest takeaway of the shoe, it looks like a whole piece instead of like, now it's like heel, pods,
Yeah.
plate. This one just looks like a shoe. So,
Yeah, and
airplane
what I
almost.
like about the Alphafly 3, from what I can tell, is that they reinforce the rubber beneath the AirPods. It looks like a more durable rubber or cohesive rubber.
see, I have a theory about that.
What?
You're not allowed to have two plates in a shoe.
Oh, I see what you told me this.
And I think they put rigid rubber underneath those pods and it acts as
Like a plate.
a plate.
It
Like,
could be.
so you're getting stiff,
I see what you're saying.
pillow, stiff. Compress in between those two stiffs.
Yeah.
And it's like a double plate.
Well, in there, that actually brings up a good point, because in the original patent for their systems, they did have a plate beneath the pods in one of the designs. So I wonder, that would be a way to get around it, is just putting in a very hard rubber.
Yeah. Well, if you also look at the current Vaporfly 1, there's like a hard piece underneath the pods.
You're saying Alphafly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
You keep saying Vaporfly 1.
Yeah.
You mean Alphafly 1.
Alphafly 1. Yeah.
Smack yourself a couple times.
There, it has almost like a plastic
Yeah.
piece underneath it.
Right.
Did I tell you about my shoe dilemma before the race?
Now, this
No.
is the best.
So I don't know if you're familiar with this, but some of the Alphafly ones make a weird. Yeah, we talked about Thomas's pair that were squeaky.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
Click,
my pair that I
click,
got from
click.
StockX, the white ones, which I really wanted to wear, went out for my test run, and I had headphones in, so I didn't really hear anything. But went out and did a few miles, like right before the race, and it was like
Click,
click,
click.
click,
Oh,
click,
yeah?
click,
Click.
and I was like, is this going to drive me insane during the race? And I contemplated, because I have one extra pair of Alphaflys that are also unworn, and I contemplated wearing them, but they're the Volt color, which I just don't love.
Uh-huh.
And so I just rolled the dice and wore them with the clicking noise, and it turns out during a race you don't hear.
Yeah, I was going to
anything.
say, it'd probably almost be a welcome distraction. I don't know. Maybe
Well, I
not.
was thinking like it probably would have been funny, but if I was like in a dark wave and I heard that noise, I would be like losing my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But luckily, it was so loud the whole time.
It's like the telltale heart.
Yeah.
You just
Yes.
go crazy.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was
all
like,
that
when
guilt.
she first texted me that she was in a room full of people with Alphafly 3s, I said, they'll just hear click, 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 click when you pass them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man.
Which I did see, I think, more Alphafly 3s on the side of the road than at the finish line, if I'm being honest.
What do you mean at the side of the
People
road?
dropping.
Oh, really? Wow.
But I think it's because there was such a effort from those people. Like, if you're part of that program,
Yeah.
to hit a certain number, and if you blew up, you went out. But the shoe looks amazing.
It's it's gonna be. I wonder how much it's gonna cost. Do you have any
$275.
idea? Is it really?
I don't see them
I'm pretty
changing
sure
it.
they're keeping it to 275.
Wow, that'd be
I think they should.
cool.
They're going to sell a lot of them anyway.
Yeah.
And they kept well, here's the thing. The Vaporfly you can get for $250, but some versions cost up to $270.
Some of the colorways. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a feeling that maybe they'll experiment with that with the Alphafly as well.
I could see that. And then, so did you see the leaders running? Like, obviously, you took some photos of them.
Yeah.
That had to be crazy.
Yeah. It was such a beautiful day. It was like a perfect day.
What-
And
Wasn't there a pacer that ran? He was like third place, and he was a pacer.
yeah.
Like one of the Adidas athletes. He was wearing the Evo 1. I think he ran like a 203. And he was a pacer.
So it might have
They're
been.
allowed to run the whole.
Well, it was
place?
unofficial, but
Oh.
he just ran. He wasn't paid because had to stop pacing. He couldn't keep up, or whatever. I
Right.
think was it Kipruto? I forget the athlete. It was one of the. He's won marathons before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just like paced and ran an unofficial 203. I'm like, could you imagine?
Well,
Unofficial
the funny
203.
thing was apparently, so our guy Kiptum, who ran the two flat, basically. I mean, how many
World record,
seconds?
Yeah.
It's like 25 seconds or
I
something.
don't know. 2 hours.
Anyway, they asked him if he thinks he could have run a little bit faster if he had the right pacers. Apparently, he told the race directors ahead of time that he needed pacers for a certain time. And then he was like, no, I need this. And they're like, we're in Chicago. We're not going to be able to get those pacers.
Yeah, no such thing exists.
And I think he could have maybe broken it with different pacers. But additionally, they asked him if there was somebody coming up behind him, does he think he could have squeezed out that extra sprint down the lane? He's like, yeah, probably.
That was Joni who asked
That's
him.
crazy. Yeah, that, and I saw something somewhere where somebody interviewed him and asked him when he was feeling, like, when it was most painful, and he said he didn't feel any pain.
Yeah,
at
I saw
all.
that too.
I'm like,
And
Maybe
it's
he
also like, what are
misunderstood.
you taking, dude? Because I'll take some of that too.
like that
Well-
doesn't. I can't compute. He ran a 4:18, the fastest mile ever in a marathon, at mile 22.
Yeah, obviously, he was feeling good.
I was talking to a friend after the race though, and we were kind of having that question about, like, do we feel like that maybe there's some pharmaceutical enhancements going on? And their thought was, I feel like the times are getting faster. It's not necessarily the race day and the shoes that are making people faster, but it's training in these shoes that you have a shoe that you can go harder in and recover faster. So instead, back before where you get beat up during training and then finally make it to race day and, just throw everything at it and then be like a wreck for a while. Mm-hmm. These guys are getting to race day healthier, more rested. Their bodies are recovered better, and they're able to then use the tools they have to start dropping these times. So he had a very optimistic view of it. And I would like, whether it's naive or not, I would like to think that that's what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, same. Obviously, I'm not saying it either way, but it is pretty. Like, it just seems that the Vaporfly has been out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not the exact same as the Evo 1 or maybe the newest version of the Alphafly, but like the times have just been dropping like crazy. Not like 10 seconds off.
Right.
Like 30 seconds, 2 minutes in the last year or whatever. That just seems like just like a lot. I don't know. It's just an observation.
It is.
It is a lot though.
It is
yeah,
a lot.
They're big jumps. It's not like
Like
you're
a 30
saying it's not-
second-
Yeah.
And I know he's young and it's his third marathon. And maybe that's the thing. Like,
He's 24, right?
Maybe-
23.
23.
maybe that's the thing where you have younger runners now who are transitioning faster to the marathon.
With tools that,
And then who have those tools, whereas Kipchoge, when he was in his mid-20s, was still running in the whatever. I don't even know what at that time.
he's probably
was that,
running in
30
the
years
original
ago?
Pegasus.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Back before
I
the-
did ask
we landed
somebody
on the
else
moon.
about Kipchoge's age who's known him for a long time. I'm like, is that his age? He goes, yeah, he didn't want to say, but it's
Dude, look at that guy.
I
He's
don't
seen some
know.
stuff.
Like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he, I don't know, like was in the Crusades,
anyway.
like knows about.
Yeah, I tend to think. Look, he's 23.
Kelvin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this record's going down.
Oh, as soon as
The 2 hour.
yeah, 2 hours
Yeah.
for sure. That's what I mean. Like when Kipchoge ran, you're like, yeah, someday. And then now you're at 1 second per mile faster, and he's saying that he felt great and could have gone faster. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely going down.
The problem's going to be getting pacers for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just do it.
There's going to be like
Do it with-
10 dudes in the world who can pace you.
You'll have one for the first 10 miles, and
That's it.
yeah. I mean, that is wild. Anyways,
I mean, you do think about that. Like, I think about how much effort it took to get. They aligned everything for Kipchoge to break the 2 hour barrier.
right.
Pacer, like we're gonna look back at that someday and be like, wow, they had to close down to a special track, put 10 people in front of them, and switch those people out to
Yeah.
get it. And now like people are just like 5 dudes all run.
You think it's going to be like the 4-minute mile where once
I
it goes
do.
down, it's going to just
I think so.
happen?
Yeah,
I do.
I think you're right.
And I think the crazy thing is, will it translate to the amateur runners? Like, will all of our minds, like, where, like, when I first started running, the average pace of a marathoner, was 4:26 for a male. And it was longer for a woman. I wonder what it is today. It can't be still 4:26.
I don't think it's that different.
It's got to be closer to, like,
What's like the women's equivalent of 2 hours? 2:10?
I think 2:10. There's about
Well,
10
wait.
minutes between
what did our girl in Berlin run?
2:11?
2:11.
Something.
Yeah.
I would guess
So it's
that's
about 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. I think that gap's going to close too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Safana San was on pace for most of this marathon to break that record too.
Yeah, I
For
didn't
the first
realize.
20.
I didn't realize because I was out there running that the women went out at sub world record pace
Yeah.
for like 10K, and then I guess everyone got dropped.
I think she was still running it at, I don't know, mile, like at least the halfway point.
Oh wow.
All right, we haven't even gotten to the best part of the day.
Oh. Okay.
So we had arranged a podcast that will be airing the following Monday after this podcast,
Cool.
where we pitched an idea to Emma when we were out in Boulder. You were there.
Emma Bates.
Yeah.
For those who don't know.
That we would love to do a Chicago post-run cocktail hour where maybe there would be some drinks involved and a retelling of the day and a conversation.
So like drunk history meets like post game analysis.
Yeah.
Right, but unfortunately, like we couldn't load her up pregame.
You mean like get her drunk before the race?
Yes, well, yeah, no, but before the recap. So we started having drinks while we were
I
going.
got you.
And originally we were supposed to have like a half an hour with her.
Yeah.
So we do our interview with her, which was phenomenally fun. And she is just like, I think she's just an entertaining guest. Like she knows how to banter and
she's
have
a good
fun.
time.
She's a great person.
She doesn't have to stick to a script or anything. And you know, we get the countdown for the 30. We wrap things up. And then that's actually when it got real fun. So we figured they're going to boogie out, whatever. No, you guys want more drinks? Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
We ended up hanging out with Emma, her man Steve Finley, Feathers had come to watch. Ali on the Run came to watch. Kefui was there, you know, watching. So all these people are there, including the athlete relations for ASICS and who else was there? There's somebody else, but anyway, so we all end up just having drinks and eating pizza, and we ended up hanging out till what, like 11?
Yeah, we just had a hotel party.
It's like all the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
You're lucky enough. That's like, what's the thing where like they keep all the nuclear codes like in different places? Is that like you want to? Yeah, that was a little dangerous there.
Yeah.
So the one thing that was kind of funny, so we kind of had like a suite,
Yeah.
and there was a Murphy bed in the suite. So of course someone has to pull it down. And then, you know, at a certain point in the night, we're fairly in time. They're like, let's take a picture on the Murphy bed. I'm like, guys, a picture on a Murphy bed is just going to look like a picture on a bed. but everybody wanted to take a picture. So we.
Oh, nice.
So we sure did.
Yeah. But is that public anywhere?
I mean, we can throw it on the podcast.
It's on my phone.
You might, it's on my phone.
Did everyone get into the robes again or no?
No, we didn't do
Man,
that.
we didn't
Okay.
have them.
But-
That would have been good though.
Man, that sounds like a pretty excellent time.
It was a pretty perfect
I
way
don't
to
even
end
know
the
what we
evening.
talked about. Like, that's the crazy thing. Like, we talk for hours.
Yeah.
Just all.
You know, just nonsense. You know
Oh,
how you
yeah.
do.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you drinking? Martinis?
Yeah.
Dude, how do you drink that many martinis?
I was probably the most, other than there's one person that wasn't drinking.
Huh?
I'd say Steve seemed pretty under control. I, for some reason, was in that zone where you can drink and not get intoxicated.
Oh, yeah. How does that work even? Like,
Some of our other friends were
not
we-
naming names?
Yeah, I'm not going to name any.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a great time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name any names.
The whole town knows you had an awesome
It wasn't Emma.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Feathers, and it wasn't
Okay.
Megan,
All right.
and it wasn't Allie on the run.
We're limited.
But there was somebody else there that was feeling no pain.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't feeling much pain either. Let's be real.
Yeah, that is.
But yeah,
true.
it was a perfect ending to a very fun weekend, and despite not hitting the moonshot goal, it was fun.
And it made it so the next day I had to get 5 miles in before we left, which was Monday. And I was almost giving myself that pass. Like, you don't have to. We got to get on a plane. We got to do that. I'm so happy I did. It was beautiful weather along the lake, and I ran along the water. You know how
Yeah.
you've been
I've been to
Chicago.
Chicago, yeah,
Yeah.
but not in my band days, not my running days.
Yeah,
So,
I ran
yeah.
along the lake. It was like a nice. It kind of shook off the cobwebs, and got back. We packed, got back, and Megan, did we have a cocktail when we got back?
Yeah.
Damn. Man.
It's the week after the
That's-
marathon. There's no
No
bets are
rules.
off.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I got to work out this morning, and I thought maybe the weekend's festivities would hurt my running, and I put a nice streak together lately.
Not.
I killed it. I was like really happy with my workout this
Are
morning.
you back to running, Robbie?
I am. I'm back to normal running. It was a little rough the last couple of days because I took 4 days off.
Why?
This may come as a shock to all the listeners out there, but we should just record this part and play it every 3 months before the podcast.
We don't can our commercials, but we should can
me rolling my ankles.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was running with the Faster Bastards in Druid Hill Park, and there's these monster hills, and I was having, like, no joke, like probably the best workout of like the last year. And
I picture Icarus getting close to the sun.
yeah, it's a pretty on the wings of pastrami.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of debris back in there from like acorns and
Like tree debris.
branches and just a lot. Like the whole path is covered. And I don't know what it was, but I was wearing the On Cloud Boom Echo 3s, which are not the
Narrow.
most stable shoe ever, and just roll my left ankle real good.
I would like to make a little movie, and it would start with an acorn growing on a tree. And you watch it kind of like blossom,
like
and
this. I see.
it kind of gets a personality. It's like, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I have big dreams. Maybe I'll become an oak. Maybe I'll become something. And then, the one day it's ready, he falls from the tree, lands. He's like, my destiny awaits. I don't know what it'll be. And then Robbie's foot coming down slowly, and Robbie just twisting it in the acorn going, this is it.
And do you think that was an evil acorn or
No, I think he's just trying to exist and do his thing. And
Okay.
he could have become a tree. You're actually the evil one
Yeah.
because you.
Oh, I smashed him to
yeah.
bits.
Like he's not going to be a tree now.
Now I feel bad. Now I feel double bad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Don't worry. His brother dropped in the soil. He's going to grow up and be a tree.
and then get me again.
Yeah, and get you.
Nice. And so, man, I could think about that for a long time.
The giving tree
Glad, yeah.
with Robbie.
Glad we're not under the influence there. I'd be thinking about that for hours. So then I actually did the right thing. Normally I try to run the rest of the run on it. So I stopped, walked.
Sometimes I actually think that's good for your ankle. Like just kind of get it out.
What? Keep running on it?
Yeah.
I could tell you from experience.
That's not it.
It just grows to be the size of a softball, and then I'm stuck with it. But no, I walked, and then someone picked me up. Kaczarski picked me up in his car. I sat on a rock for 40 minutes.
Were you crying?
No, I was just sitting there, kind of pondering my life and and this changing of the seasons and stuff, and probably looking weird because I had just my leg up on a rock in the middle of Druid Hill Park. Oh, the worst was that all the whole running group I was running with, they passed me twice again because there's that little loop. And so I walked up to the rock.
Oh, I know where you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And on that back loop. And they passed me twice. And everyone asked the whole time if you're okay.
Are you okay?
I'm like, yeah, just ignore me. Just leave me to die.
You'd be like, I beat you guys up the hill. Do you remember that part?
Yeah, exactly. And then, anyways, but I did the right thing. I iced it. I put like arnica
gel.
Arnica gel, CBD cream, Floyd's 2,400 milligrams.
What about the wrap?
I did that for the first 2 nights. And so it kept the swelling down, which is nice. And then we are, I took 4 days off and basically worst weekend of sports ever. So
the Orioles
lost out of the playoffs. Honestly, I can't. It's like
that was pretty quick.
Wait, it's over?
Yeah, from last week till now, I'm just like, I think back on last week and I'm like, how did these horrible things happen in the last week?
Is it one of those things where you're like, don't be mad that it happened.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened.
Yeah,
now you don't have to worry about the parade in New York City and all
Honestly,
that jazz.
there was
Freeze
a little
you
bit
up.
of me that was kind of relieved that I
See?
could stop being stressed out. I'm
There
just
you go.
like, okay, now I don't have to worry about all these logistics, whether or not I'm going to drain my bank account on freaking World Series tickets.
I heard
all this-
part of the reason that they were jinxed is that you went to Mobtown and met one of their players.
That could have been.
And then they're like, he's like, my ankle.
The game one pitcher, I met him the night before. Yeah. Anyways, so it was still cool going to the game I took my 7-year-old to the game.
Like, I
That was
feel
a lot of
like
fun.
Your boys are old enough at this stage
Yeah.
that these could be core memories. Like they'll remember going with you
Yeah.
to that. And then, so you're really setting the ground. And the chances are the team looks like it'll be good next year.
Yeah, for sure.
So
It'll be good.
now it's like you're
years.
building that dad, son.
Yeah, it was good. And he doesn't remember innings 5 through 7 because he fell asleep for all those. But so I'm gonna ask him for that money back. Prorate that ticket cost.
I got to tell you,
good.
I wish I could sleep like a child or an old man because both those guys,
Yeah.
they know how to do it. Like they can be anywhere and just nod off.
Oh yeah.
My dad we'd go to the movies. I used to love it because we'd sit down.
Mm-hmm.
He'd have his eyes, I'd watch his eyes closed like before the like trailers were over.
Yeah.
And then when we're all lights are coming on, he'd wake up. I'd be like, Dad, what do you think of the movie? He goes, I don't know. It wasn't that great. I was like,
that.
you didn't see any of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. Dad naps and kid naps. Can't beat them. But yeah, it was good. And we stopped by, we rode our bikes there and we stopped by the office on the way because it was raining and dried off. Yeah, grabbed a towel, took it with us.
Nice.
It all worked out.
Good little
But
stop.
yeah.
Hey, before we wrap things up totally, I just want to tell you, I think we're going to have the biggest shakeout run ever in New York City.
We better.
Well,
I'm firing all you listeners.
I'm
if you're
telling
not
you
there.
what, it's not just going to be our
Can you
crew.
fire
You
listeners?
can't. I was wondering.
No, and I don't want to. Let's keep them on
Okay.
staff.
All right.
We are going to have, besides our crew, which is quite impressive with Featherston and all of our Just Moval, I could go down the list. It'd probably be too long because there's 15 of them. We're also going to have Tommy Runs and his crew, the PR project there. We're going to have Matt Choi.
Oh, Matt Choi's going to be there?
Yeah, Carlith,
okay.
Carlith Keys.
Dude,
Yeah,
it might be bigger than the marathon.
I don't. It could be. I mean, we have. Oh, Kafuzi's coming, so I'm sure Ben Johnson's coming, but he won't be able to say he's coming because of his Nike stuff. But
Yeah.
He'll show up if he knows what's good for him.
we're gonna have. We have space. Believe me, we have space for the biggest shakeout run ever. So there's going to be swag. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be an opportunity to meet some of your favorite people in the running community. Possibly some New Balance professional athletes as well. It's gonna
Definitely Emily Sisson.
Yeah.
She'll be there.
If
Thomas
not,
will take photos with her.
yeah, I'm gonna find out that other girl.
Dude,
and she can be.
We found her on Instagram.
Yeah, but you
the-
know how you get clowns at parties.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
wish.com version of Emily Sisson.
Yeah.
Get her in there.
Exactly. Doesn't fit quite right.
Oh.
I ordered a jacket from them one time. Yeah, it was so small. It was like made for a teddy
man.
bear or something.
Oh,
And you can't return it.
no, not at all.
Final check-in. I'm here with Emma still. Believe it or not, she's hung out this whole time and didn't leave us. And Emma, we're going to switch it up. I give tips all the time on running. Do you have any tips on horticulture or goat raising?
Get yourself some goats, then you'll run faster because you got some goats to feed.
And you probably aren't always thinking about yourself. You're taking care of something else, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Run for more than yourself. That's the key.
That's the tip. Run for more than yourself. All right. We pulled it out of that. All right. Thanks, Emma.
I think they just have a box. And
I'm gonna carry a tip jar around, and you can pet the mustache for I don't know, like $2. It'll all go to charity.
Dude, people will do that.
It'll go to charity.
Are you kidding?
Meeting my
You don't
kids'
even have to
Christmas
tell.
list.
Yeah, you don't have to even tell them that. You could just be like, "Look, I'm trying to make some extra dough.
Yeah.
You can touch my mustache for $1 a touch."
Yeah,
And that
You won't do it.
And you get a second. You should
won't?
carry a stopwatch and be
might.
like,
I might.
"All right, there's your touch. Oh, you want 5 seconds with
Yeah.
the stash? All right,
Just hold their
$5.
hand on there like they're, I don't know, trying to get some magic.
How
from
close
it.
does that get to mustache rides?
Hopefully not too close. I don't know, not New York City. So I went to read some things. Whatever, it's long, but some people commented on the Spotify question last week, which
Wait.
is like, what do you think about this episode?
We also got a really good submission about Injinji socks that we have to
Oh, really?
read.
I don't know. I didn't think it was that great.
What? No, I'm sorry. I'm reading.
I don't know what it is. So
It
you
felt
have to
to
read
me.
it.
It felt fictitious.
I don't. It's incredible.
Can you just read it?
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah.
Okay. This is from Alaric. Alaric. I don't know how you say your name.
Already.
The subject line is Injinji socks are kind of amazing. He said, y'all mentioned Injinji socks a few episodes back, so I wanted to share my experience with them. Let me preface this by
Testimonial.
saying that the only good thing about Injinji socks is that they prevent blisters between toes really well. Everything else about it kind of sucks. It's impossible to put on, and they're too warm for me to wear 10 months out of the year in Houston weather. Now here's the story. A few years back, my car got broken into at work, and the guy stole my gym bag. I was planning on going for a run, so I packed some running stuff, which included the socks and the finisher's tech shirt from my first marathon. The police got to the workplace, and as I was dealing with them, somebody on the radio called in saying they found the guy. The policeman urged me to tag along and possibly ID the guy, even though I didn't see him, and maybe recover whatever he stole from my car. So I hopped in the back of the cop car and took an Instagram video as evidence with a sound clip of Cop Car by Sam Hunt. It was a popular country song at the time. We found the guy like 2 blocks away. He had my clothes on, but the great part is that they found the guy on the ground trying to put on the Injinji socks.
Dude,
I
what?
swear they caught him.
See, doesn't this sound a little bit?
Dude, no way is someone making that up.
He
Okay.
said, I swear they got caught because they couldn't put on the Injinji socks. Took him out of action. The police made him take off my clothes. Now, I'm a thick boy, so I had invested in some nice anti-chafing underwear. He had them on as
No
well.
way.
The police asked me what I wanted back. Firstly, I wanted my shirt back. Then they chuckled and asked sarcastically, you want your underwear back for sure, right? I played it cool and told them, nah, I'm good, even though that was like throwing money down the drain, and I really want them back. Now, my question is, what would Robbie have done?
And then they said, do you want your gloves back? Do you want your kids' gloves back? Those are my socks.
Your
and then,
puppets.
And then they just made fun of him. Oh, man. Well, dude, that's a crazy story.
Right?
Oh, that might be one of the best stories I've ever heard.
Stopping to put on frickin' Injinji socks.
See,
I hate Injinji socks.
I just can't see someone
But
doing
you could
this.
see
Sorry,
if
they're
someone
never
was
gonna
like
get
methed
sponsored.
out kind of doing that.
And they're like, I found these clothes. I want to put on running clothes.
Yeah, like if they were just like had maybe no socks or something on. I don't know.
All right.
Maybe they
if
were
I
just
had
a gross-
you know me. They didn't have to ask what I would do because I'd burn everything, including the person in them.
I mean, that's such an insane story. There's no way someone made it up.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you do?
What would I do?
You taking the underwear or no?
Is it Tracksmith or not?
Say it's
said
Tracksmith.
it was
It apparently is
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
Anti-chafing underwear.
Yeah, just wash it.
Really? You would?
You'd make the man take them off?
You've touched
Oh,
stuff.
right in front of me?
I don't know how
No,
else
I
you
don't
get
care.
it back.
He takes them off. But who cares if it's in front of you? Here's the thing. Once, like, I would lend you a pair of gloves. I would
Yeah.
never wear those gloves again.
For real?
For real. Yeah, a hat. If you borrowed a hat, it's yours now.
Yeah, I mean, we're different people.
Yeah.
What can I say? I mean, I wouldn't buy underwear from Goodwill or anything, but like if someone briefly, no pun intended, put them on, I guess I think a round of a washing machine detergent would basically take
I
care
would
of that.
never, every time I slid them on, I would feel his balls.
Oh, jeez.
Not literally.
No, but
Yeah.
I would put them on and
Yeah.
I would be thinking about it.
I see what you're saying.
There's never be a time I'd pull those out.
I don't
of
know
the
where
drawer
my
and-
dissociation comes from. That's probably why I'm fine with watching horror movies. Just
Oh, I can't
doesn't-
even watch that.
Yeah, that's probably the same department of the brain.
So when you see a completely nuts person on one of those horror movies and it brings up disturbing things, or even say, like I saw like those terrorist videos and stuff from like 9/11. I can't get those out of my head. You can leave them behind.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's not like I watch shit stuff to like. I mean, I can just see it and it doesn't bother me. Yeah,
Oh boy.
but I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that happened this past week, and I was like, I mean, yeah,
I can't stop thinking about it.
yeah, it's like horror, obviously horrendous, but it's just like, yeah, it doesn't affect me.
So you don't have empathy, like you don't.
No, I'm not a sociopath. No, I have a complete empathy, but it just like doesn't stick with me.
Okay.
Yeah. Like in the moment for sure, but just I don't know. Yeah, and then it's just like goes out.
See, I get
the
triggered, and
window.
every once in a while this stuff
But
pops
maybe,
back
but
up.
maybe I internalize it though, and then it comes out like in
Anger,
I don't know, maybe.
like killing rats in your backyard.
Yeah.
All right, what are these questions?
Anyways, no, somebody wanted to know what the mindset books that you read before a race are.
Oh,
Because
There's
I
a
don't know
whole
if you
bunch of
said
them.
that.
I can tell you some of them.
yeah. Dina Castor, Let Your Mind Run. Champion's Mind. Elite Mind. How Bad Do You Want It?
Yeah, that one you go back to a
Who
lot.
reads that? Who writes that one?
Is that Matt
Fitzgerald?
Fitzgerald?
I think so.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's Matt Fitzgerald.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
I can put a list together, but yeah, those I just named most of them.
Okay. Gotcha.
The ones that I see the most are Elite Minds, and what's the one with the black cover? The something mind.
That's the Champion Mindset.
Champion Mindset, and then How Bad Do You Want It?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you like the Dina Castor one right now because you're working with Coach Castor.
No, but I always reread. There's a few chapters in there I always reread.
What's one of the things that you love that she says?
She just breaks down some of her races and like some of the mental tricks that she does, like to get through dark waves and stuff.
Okay, cool. I was trying to see if there's any other comments, but a lot of people who are, talking about Taco Bell and Burger King. Someone said they're not a flame broiled fan, so I should just delete that.
Hey,
comment.
if you don't eat Big Red chewing gum, fuck you.
Yep.
And then
that's it.
somebody said that Nike is short for Nyquil. That's a joke.
That's not a funny one.
But yeah, nice try, Brian. But he did say he wasn't a fan of running podcasts until he found this one.
That's
Well,
'cause
he's
this
still
is
not a fan of
running
running podcasts.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah. It was funny because I'm in a Central PA like running Facebook group or whatever,
Mhm.
and someone
Weird.
asked for running podcast recommendations, and I was like, somebody did recommend the drop, and they were like, it's not too much about running, but it is hilarious or something. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
at
like
least
that.
you gave them that caveat
Yeah.
because they're gonna be in for a shock when you.
Well, we're saying this one's going long, but this is probably a lot of people's last long run before Chicago Marathon.
You would be wrong because they would have missed it.
I'm doing my long run.
Okay.
Before the Chicago Marathon.
No, the New York
Oh, yeah.
City. Didn't
Yeah.
I say New York?
You said Chicago.
Vaporfly, Alphafly,
Yeah,
Chicago,
you're not very
New
good
York.
with the words today.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. Is it your last
what?
long run? Wouldn't it be
Well,
in 2
your
weeks?
big one. Like
This
I
is
was
peak week.
peak week.
This is.
Yeah.
You're 3 weeks out, bro.
Dude, let me do the math.
We just did a post that we were 4 weeks out. This is peak week.
Isn't peak week 2 weeks out?
No, you start tapering.
That's
Start
what my
tapering
peak
then.
week is.
Well, that's everyone's a little
Well, that's
different.
if you twist your ankle and
Yeah.
stuff.
I thought I was actually gonna maybe push it back to the week before, but I guess now you're freaking me out.
You can do whatever you want.
So you're saying peak week should be this weekend,
Yeah.
22 miles.
3 weeks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought it was 2 weeks out.
No.
No, you start to bring it back down.
Yeah.
You go up
Some people
and
even
then
taper,
zoom.
like start now. But
Okay.
That's too early,
Interesting.
in my opinion.
Well, consider me shocked. So I guess I'm peaking next weekend.
I was supposed to do 22 this weekend, but since I'm running the Baltimore half, Meg took it easy on me and only gave me 6 extra miles to that. So I'm only doing 19.
You're doing 20.
20. I'm doing 20.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll
I'm thinking I might wear the Adidas shoes.
yeah, you should.
Here's 2 things though. It's probably gonna rain.
Yeah.
Do I try out that thin layer of
Yeah,
rubber?
they said they tested it in the rain,
Well, yeah,
so you can really
and dude,
tell everyone.
And imagine how light they will be even when soaking wet.
Right.
That's
Nothing.
true.
There will
That
be
is true.
nothing.
I'll
Oh,
be
yeah,
leaving
it's-
people in the dust who are trying to do 8-minute flats
Yeah. See you suckers.
with my 750 face.
Yeah.
rain
If I can run
likely.
750 on the Baltimore course,
Oh, that'd be great.
I would be that. To me, effort wise, that's a 7 flat.
Yeah.
Not quite, but
Yeah.
It would be
Cool.
rough.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I mean, this is like Christmas in Baltimore for the running scene this
Yeah.
weekend, so it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Do you see we have a tent at the finish, and
I did.
You can hang and party and all that.
I heard about that because I'm gonna have to. If it's raining, I'm gonna want to drop some stuff off.
It opens at 7:30 in the morning, so you have plenty of time. I don't think the half starts. Are you doing the half?
Yeah,
What time's the half start? Like
10 or something.
I would really
9:30?
like to race it. I'm hoping my ankle is 100% by then. It's like 90% now.
I mean, you got the
That'd be good.
hills. You got the hills.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah,
fun.
Robbie throwing down another 120,
Half. Oh, that's never happened.
What's your-
130?
138. That's
Yeah.
good enough. That's close, right?
I don't think I'm breaking 130 on the Baltimore course.
It's a tough
Yeah.
course, man.
Not right now.
It was raining that day.
Yeah, you're right, Madonna.
Chilly, rainy day.
All right.
You ready to go?
Yeah, let's wrap this.
Thanks
All
for
right.
listening, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for coming in. Thanks to everybody in Chicago who showed up and
Yeah,
said
appreciate
hello.
you.
We love seeing you. It's so much fun. We saw a lot of multiple people that we've seen at many different events, so that's great. I saw some people from Houston, saw some people from the New York City Marathon, other shakeouts. A lot of fun. So keep your head up. Let's roll.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
All right.